Good morning, everyone. It is just before 2 in the morning, and we are about to climb up the mountain Ijen. Yes, it is the most acidic, sulfuric crater lake, or just lake on Earth, and it is bubbling so much that it has a fire burning across the top of the water that looks blue, so they say. We're gonna check it out for ourselves.
This is true, and there's clear skies, and you may ask yourself, how many people are up at 2 in the morning to do this?
Welcome to our channel, 2 Up and Overloaded. In this video, we are going to be doing something that is truly crazy. We are going to walk up a highly active volcano crater in the night and then down into the crater itself to reach the most toxic, acidic, and sulfuric lake in the world, where we will hopefully see a unique phenomenon called blue fire.
That is where one can destroy a ring.
Yes.
I think I've even seen on Discovery Channel this place, so I was super excited to see it firsthand, even though I was fully aware that it was going to be like a gas chamber. You know, it's going to be sulfuric and gross and
very toxic. This place that we are going to is called Kawah Ijen, or Ijen Volcano, on the island of Java, Indonesia.
It is all the way on the eastern side of Java, so we've almost made our complete run across Java on our Bajaj Pulsar 220 that we've knighted Dorco.
And this is our last major stop on the island of Java, and some might say one of the most impressive places in the world.
Or out of this world.
It is like out of this world. This is like another planet. In order to see this blue fire, which is literally the sulfuric gases catching on fire within the crater. It's not lava, but it does burn like blue and kind of drip. Yeah. To our human eyes, it looks like blue lava.
We were told that sometimes you catch it, sometimes you don't, and we were really hoping that we would get to see this miracle of nature, but it doesn't always present itself.
And the journey to see this blue fire is quite the adventure, because you have to start in the night. You can't really see it burning blue during the sunlight. So in order to catch it at nighttime, you have to start the hike at 2 in the morning. And this is a very long, treacherous hike up the volcano rim, then down into the crater itself. You have to wear a gas mask, you have to wear goggles because the sulfur gas can burn your eyes. You need a headlamp so you can see where you're going. Yes. Because this is not like a stairwell into the pits of doom. This is, you're walking down really rugged terrain in order to get to this view. Not to mention you're at very high altitude. And you might be doing all of this all for naught, because there may be the blue fire and there may not be the blue fire. It all just depends on luck. So we were extremely excited, but also a little nervous about this whole journey of ours into the volcano of Ijen. We're all going up the mountain, and then we have to put on gas masks to go into the crater. I mean, who does this? I guess a bunch of pretty crazy people.
Hey everyone, nice to have you here. We are Tim
and Marissa, no tear.
I ride in the front
and I'm in the rear.
We travel the world and we pack too much gear.
Oh, all the places we'll go.
Through rain and through sleet and through mud and through snow.
Oh, all the things we'll see.
We've been to a country or 2
or 3. Oh, all the fun we've had.
You have you along would make us real glad.
So give us a like and
hit subscribe to join us along our epic ride.
We we stayed at basically what is base camp to the volcano of Ijen. And it's this tiny little town right where the trail starts. And we thought this would be the perfect place to stay, way out in the countryside, no noise. We'll be right at the trailhead so that we can start hiking at 2 in the morning. But little did we know that they were going to throw a party there in the night, all night long. It was super loud, and so we got 0 sleep. All right, I don't know if you can hear the karaoke, but it is a party here tonight.
But there was a lot of adrenaline going through.
Yes.
Some blue fire through our veins, if you will. So we woke up excited, or like, you know, arose more excited, and we headed towards the entrance gate. We paid for our tickets, and just like the ferrymen across the River Styx, we entered
Hades?
from one realm into another. And
Yeah.
it was pitch black. It was very, very dark, and we were just climbing up. You can't see anything. The terrain is fairly loose, and so, you know, you take 10 steps forward and slide 3 back. But there was enough of us that, you know, we kind of as a unit.
Yeah, I could not believe how many people were doing this journey. People were being bussed in from all the surrounding towns. This is a major tourist attraction, and it's not always available to be seen. There are a lot of times in the year where the volcano is just simply too active, or there is no blue fire going on. It's constantly a very dynamic place and very volatile, and so we were just very lucky that it was happening the time that we were there, and it was very, very popular.
It was a whole lot of people smoking, which I can't believe, you know, that it was at altitude, breathing in this sulfuric air while doing this crazy hike. It wasn't necessarily wheelchair accessible.
No.
But it was wheelbarrow accessible.
This is an active sulfur mine. So this road is really the only way to get up into the sulfur mine area of the volcano, which is within the crater. And so these wheelbarrows were used originally by the sulfur miners that still use it for this purpose of bringing sulfur rocks down from off of the volcano.
And sometimes just as valuable as the human ore, which is,
Yes.
you know, people. So then they just take the wheelbarrows and they put some padding in them and stick a person in it and
Voila.
lug them on up the mountainside.
Yeah, I felt really, really bad for those people that had to pull the other people in the wheelbarrows.
Yeah.
If it was just people that physically could not make it up the mountain, but it was their life dream to see this incredible phenomenon, then I would 100% understand. But yeah, I think it was mostly people that wanted to post on TikTok that they were in a wheelbarrow going up.
For sure. Without a wheelbarrow, Marissa and I both successfully made it to the top. It's still pitch dark, so you can't see the difference between the horizon and the sky and the landscape, but it's just darkness.
In fact, I didn't even really know that we were at the top when we were there, except that we started going down a much more narrow trail, and it was down as opposed to up.
Yeah, and as soon as you look down, you just see the sea of, you know, head torches just going down into the crater, and yeah, it definitely looked like orcs and trolls on the war march towards something really freaky.
It looked like an army of people that were carrying torches. It was straight out of the movies. I'd actually never seen anything quite like that in person.
And it took us a good, hour to hike up?
I think it was more than, I think it was 2 hours to hike up.
And just speaking of head torches twisting off into the distance, looking iconic and amazing, that's when mine decided to flicker out.
I know.
Climbing up, surrounded by a whole bunch of people on a pretty wide path with a couple wheelbarrows going by you, and then you get to the rocky decline craziness, and my headlight does the thing it does in horror movies, you know. You're in a cave and you hear a weird noise, like, what was that? You know, and then it dies. I'm guided by the little flashlight on my phone, which is better than nothing, but you know.
Yeah, I was trying to help you out with my headlamp as well, but I needed to see too. I mean, this trail going down into the crater was pretty bad. It was a lot of climbing. It wasn't, you know, a very well thought out trail. It was just like somebody picked a way that they could get down the mountain, and then more people followed.
You just follow the guy in front of you, and if he goes, ah, and falls, then you pick another route. And that's how you eventually get down to the bottom.
As you got further down this crater, inside the volcano, the sulfuric gases got stronger and stronger and stronger. You really needed to have your gas mask on at this time.
Yeah.
You needed to have goggles. I don't think a lot of people had proper goggles. We had put tape on the sides of ours to prevent that gas from getting into our eyes, and it still burned.
There were little vents on the goggles so the goggles wouldn't fog up, you know, like on like ski goggles and such. But I said, there's no way I'm putting on goggles to block out 90%. If you got it, so I taped everything up to make them airtight.
Yeah.
And we had our gas mask pulled really tight. Marissa looked like a little, you know, fallout shelter survivor, exploring the world.
Even with the gas mask, there was no avoiding smelling this sulfuric gas, and it burns the eyes and it burns the throat, and everyone's coughing all around. I mean, you can feel the toxicity of being in that area, and people were getting down there and then they were getting out as quickly as they possibly could, because this was not an environment in which humans could survive for long.
And sometimes the wind would shift and it would just burn.
And we were getting a little disappointed because there were a couple people that were going back up the crater rim, and
I was really excited. I'm like, is it awesome?
Yeah.
You know, they're like, well, there's a little bit, rah, rah. And I'm like, oh.
And one person said there was nothing at all.
Yeah.
And we just thought, well, let's head down there and see for ourselves.
Yeah.
I see it. Blue flames. Wow. Oh.
We got close enough and it looked like some mana pool out of some elven castle landscape that was just burning bright blue.
Oh my goodness, we were so lucky. By the 10 minutes that we had talked to those people who had said there was nothing down there, it must have changed completely. I mean, this is constantly burning and dripping and oozing and changing all the time, and we hit it at just the perfect moment. There was blue lava, blue fire coming out of these gas eruptions and dripping down the sides of the rocks, burning this bright, bright blue flame.
It was crazy. It was definitely very magical. You know?
Yes.
We were in just hell, though. This yellow cloud of sulfur is just kind of wafting around us, and sometimes it breaks through the gas mask. You know, I tried to like talk to the camera a couple times, and just breathing it in, it was just like a demon entered my body. I was just like, whoa, that's a lot. We are at the gates of hell, and Marissa is much more prepared than I am.
This is awful and amazing all at once.
Behind us is blue lava, the blue flames of sulfur burning, and it's really, really, really stinky, but it's really, really beautiful, and you can see in the background some of that red flame, well, blue flames dripping down. Absolutely crazy.
Nuts.
I made the grave mistake of, at first Tim was like, oh, go over, stand by the blue fire, which, first of all, is extremely hot. I mean, you can feel the heat just coming off of it as if you're standing next to a house that is catching on fire. It is that hot. And so I stood over there, and he's like, all right, I'm going to take a picture. 1, 2, 3. And I realized I'm in this gas mask, I'm in these goggles, you can't tell who I am. So I had this brilliant idea of, oh, I'll just take my goggles off and then you can see who I am in the picture. And the moment I did that, there must have been a breeze just in the perfect direction to hit my eyeballs. A waft of that sulfuric gas hit me in the face. I mean, I felt like I had been hit with mustard gas. I immediately went, "Ugh!" and just started running, pushing people aside, just trying to cry out this sulfur gas that was burning my eyes. It was a really, really horrific experience. And after that, I decided I am not taking my goggles off. No way.
Burning, and it's hard to breathe even with this mask on. Everybody's coughing around.
But then dawn started to happen just a little bit.
Yeah, and I was more than ready to get out of that inner crater.
Yeah. There's a place called Sunrise Point at the rim of it where you get another gorgeous view. And so, yeah, we had called it enough and we needed to get out of that.
But the only way to get out of it was to go back up this very treacherous trail that we had come down.
Which is crazy because when the sun came out, then you see how insane of a trail it was.
This is insane. Wow.
And also, once the sun started to rise and you got to see your surroundings, I realized that not only is the trail very steep and rocky and difficult, but you get that sense of vertigo because you realize how high up you are and how easily you could have just fallen down the cliffside and how steep everything is as it goes straight down into the most acidic lake on earth.
Yeah, definitely some three-eyed fish in there.
Yeah. As the sun started to rise, I realized that not only is this a very beautiful and bizarre landscape, but the colors are incredibly unique. You have the yellows of these sulfur rocks, and you can see these columns where the rocks are almost like pipes, like organ pipes, and then letting off the gases. That's a yellow sulfur gas at the top.
Those are clay tiles that they use to try to redirect all the smoke of the sulfur, because the sulfur miners, these people that I saw on these Nat Geo channel, Discovery Channel so many years ago, I mean, they're not wearing gas masks, they're not wearing goggles, and they're doing this, night and day, 24/7. And we saw them, they had these two, wicker baskets, these two huge baskets filled with sulfur, and they just keep climbing down and up and down and up and using those wheelbarrows.
So are those columns man-made?
They are indeed.
Oh,
I mean, they were more
that.
vertical, but it was definitely to where the natural vents of the volcano came up. They would try to catch it and redirect it, and it's that stuff that is being redirected that oozes and stuff and catches on fire and makes that blue flame. Crazy stinky. Yeah, you can't even smell me here. That's how potent it is. But Marissa might keep this thing just for sleeping next to me. But it's been amazing. But now we're gonna go see the sunrise. Yes, and get out of the stink.
Yep.
And the other color that was really incredible was the color of the lake itself, which was this stunning blue. I mean, it looked like it was from a glacier lake. That type of sky blue, icy blue, but you knew that it was from the toxicity that this color had happened to the lake.
Yeah, it looked like the same blue as like Paul Hollywood's eyes, or like a White Walker. You know, it was just kind of bright blue.
Very icy looking.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you showed me a picture of this volcano crater, I might think, oh, that's got to be Iceland or another place that's really, really northern and there's snow probably somewhere.
A moon of Uranus.
Yeah. But no, this is Indonesia, and this is very, very close to the equator. It's still chilly up there because you're at such a high altitude, but as the sun came out more and more in full force, the temperature rose, and you remembered, oh yes, that's right, I'm near the equator.
Oh, wow.
I love that girl.
I thought you were going to say sulfur.
No, I don't love sulfur. Poison gas lake. Not so healthy. So we're gonna keep moving.
I was given a gift by a sulfur miner. A piece of sulfur as a memory. I love collecting rocks. How did he know? Suryana, I think Suryada was his name. Oh, what a kind gentleman. What a tough job.
So we made it to the top once again. This trail that went around this rim was, again, it was just insane.
Now we're going to Sunrise Point. It's a little bit past sunrise, but as the sun hits the colors of the lake, it should be pretty stunning.
The red of the rock and the earth around us, and then these bushes that kind of look like little Jupiter bushes that I don't know how they survived up there, and some of them were like had died and twisted and left these long snarling branches that look like wizard wands. We just stayed there and sat there and just watched the spectacle of nature perform its daily routine right in front of us, and it was absolutely incredible.
behind me is the last little stretch of land before the ocean between Java and Bali, where we're going to be taking a ferry tomorrow. You can see the coastline, you can see this mountain here, and you can see the ocean. Can't see Bali. It's a little bit too far to see on this kind of haziness along the ocean, but that is pretty cool that we are so high up we can actually see all of that from here.
We walked as far as we could along the rim, and we got to a pole where there were some stickers, which is a natural landmark, letting people know that, hey, this is far enough. Bam. Blew up and overloaded.
Yep.
We absorbed all the views. We marked our territory with our own sticker, and yeah, we called it a success, and we wanted to get back down the mountain. At that time, we had been up since 2 in the morning to now the sun had risen, so it was like 10. And,
yeah,
you know,
but also like we hadn't slept the night before either.
We haven't eaten at this point.
Yeah, we were suffering.
Yeah.
Welcome to Ijen!
But it was all worth it, and we felt so satisfied because think about how lucky we had been. We had been able to, in the night, see the blue fire, a unique phenomenon that you cannot find anywhere else on Earth. This is so, so special, and we were just overjoyed by the experience.
Absolutely, and even if you hadn't seen, even if we didn't go down to see the blue fire, this hike up to see this view of where all the sulfur smoke is coming out of was beautiful all in itself. So you made the cat?
Yeah.
There were some of the miners who carved little animals. I got a little cat sulfur stick. What do you call them? Sulfur ore? It's not really ore.
A stone.
A stone.
I mean, it's a
sulfur
very,
cat.
very soft stone. I don't know if you've ever held sulfur itself, but it's almost like a clay, like a silly putty, but well, not quite that soft, but
Yeah.
it's very, very soft, very, very yellow, and the people there will carve all sorts of little trinkets out of the sulfur as a memento.
My gift is bigger than yours. This guy just gave me some banana Laffy Taffy on the way down.
You better eat it quick.
We had a beautiful walk down. It was like we were in some like mountainsides of Oregon or something. You know, it was just absolutely incredible. 98% of the people had dissipated, and so it was just us.
So we're coming down Mount Cyanide, if you will. Lazy people mobiles.
We made it all the way back to the entrance gate and to the little town where we have our hotel. And we're gonna eat some food and take a shower and maybe just sleep the afternoon away because we didn't get much sleep in the night. Look at this. Wow. You almost don't have to go.
Why didn't we just stop here?
Yeah, this is way easier.
We made it!
We made it to the top of the volcano.
Look at it, it's awesome! Such a beautiful volcano! Look at how amazing it is!
If you are interested in going on a journey to this very volcano, you can see the blue fire yourself or just go right up to the crater rim to watch the sun rise over the most acidic lake on Earth. You can join us on our tour in Indonesia. We are going to be going to Central Java, East Java, and the island of Bali, seeing temples, waterfalls, volcanoes, looking over volcanic rims.
What's really amazing about this tour is that it's kind of a choose-your-own adventure. Sites like Tumpak, Sewu, there's a really difficult way of going down, and then there's a beautiful panorama and an easier way of going down. And just like Mount Ijen, you know, there's a pretty strenuous hike up, but you don't have to do the insane down to 2 o'clock in the morning to see the blue fire. You can have more of a relaxed day. And then beyond that, it's, you know, Pramadan, which is just incredible. You got Borobudur, which is amazing. And then Bali life, it's just going to be a mix of extreme adventure with extreme relaxation, with just a fantastic lifelong memories being made every single day, guided by 2 people that are tripping our way across Java, finding the most magical moments and memories and places here in Indonesia.
So if you are interested in joining this tour, you can check it out on our website at 2upandoverloaded.com/Indonesia tour. Next time, we are going to be heading to the island of Bali.
Bam! And fun fact, I always thought that Bollywood were movies made in Bali. But not. And we kind of sputter out and have an issue right as we get off of the ferry. In our own Bollywood-esque movie, there's drama, there's beauty, there's adventure, there's love.
We'll even do
no
a dance.
dancing.
No?
Oh,
Okay.
no. Well, we'll keep them on the edge of their seat.
Yeah.
Maybe we do it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. And we'll be seeing you next time.
Stay safe, everybody. As always, we just want to do a big shout out to all of our patrons who helped fund this magical journey, this wonderful adventure. It's due to each and every one of you that helps us get a little bit further down the line, take the time to stay in a hotel to make some videos like these. So you are indeed the producers, the funders of 2 Up and Overloaded. And for anybody else who wants to throw their names into the credits, into the thank yous, you can check out our Patreon page. The link is below. And we can't thank you enough for all of the valuable and priceless support.
Thank you guys so much, and we'll be seeing you next time.
Peace, everybody.
Bye.
But seeing Sewu and what Timpak Sewu? What is it?
Tumpak Sewu.
But sites like Timpak, sites like Tupac. Come on.
Sorry.
It's a hard one. Tupac?
Tumpak.
Tupac.